Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News with me, Katira King. Cameroonian cuisine is one of the most varied in all of Africa. This is due in part to the geography of this fertile country, which includes savanna, desert, tropical forest, mountains and coast, and allows a great range of crops to be grown. But the wide ethnic and cultural diversity has resulted in many different regional dishes. In fact, Cameroon is able to trace its history through the vegetables they eat. Repeated European colonization, which began with the Portuguese in the 15th century, briefly featured the Germans in the 19th century, and ended with French and British rule from 1919 until full independence in 1961, has also left its mark. The staple crops of the Hispanic Americas, from sweet pepper, chili, tomato, maize, and potato, were introduced very early on and incorporated into traditional cooking. The French influence is readily seen in the availability of French bread and pasta, and that of the British, oddly enough, in terms of dessert. So today on Our Take, even though we're well aware that food is an important part of globalization, we ask if it's time for African nations to move away from the past of their colonial masters and fully embrace and export the intricacies of their own cuisine. So I'm joined by the lovely Labo, the fabulous fish lady, and the, what begins with T? Tasty tiger nut woman. Now, I want you guys to really discuss this because you are, of course, Cameroonian Nigerian. You're creating a Nigerian product that you're looking to export to the global market. So where do we see, where is the discrepancy? Because in Francophone West Africa, there's a lot of reliance upon French cuisine. Whereas in Anglophone West Africa, we generally tend to eat our own foods a lot more. Why the discrepancy? Why do you think? You're part Anglophone West Africa, part Francophone, so you start.
First of all, we actually eat more of the local food. Like the Anglophones actually eat, you know, there's Cameroon, there's Anglophone and then there's Francophone, yeah. So the Anglophones and the Francophones, they eat more of it. So it's not like we're actually, we like sort of borrow some food or something to eat. But the thing is, well, like Temi actually said when we talked about importing things, I mean, that will always happen where you have to get food from one place to another and move the food. But whatever the case is, local food it is.
All right, so Labo, what are your thoughts on this?
I think that we need to move beyond this argument about, oh, this is African food, Nigerian food. Food is food, right? And I think the world is becoming a global village. So, for example, we are not saying Mark Zuckerberg's Facebook. It's not America's Facebook. It's Facebook for the world.
It is America's Facebook. What you talking about, girl? Have you joined Linda Kitty's version, the Nigerian Facebook? No.
Well, but even she doesn't talk about it anymore. I don't know whether it's, she's packed it up. But the reality is, I think, at least for here, because when we begin to say what exactly is Western food, so is it the traditional fish and chips for the English? Is it pasta for the Italians? Is it patisserie for the French? Because the reality is, for me, at least with Nigeria, for example, fish and chips, I mean, we don't even have codfish.
Yes.
So, I mean, what kind of, what, you know,
it's not Nigerian.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But even if you look at so-called British cuisine, even a lot of that isn't traditionally British. So they eat curry and chips. Curry is traditionally Indian. Lasagna is a Britich staple, which is traditionally Italian.
So I think everyone has pretty much infused. And as we're saying earlier about even Brazilian foods, I think at the end of the day, you taste something, you like it, you actually begin to eat it. It was on this show, I realized that my mom had been to Ethiopia before. So we used to make egg sauce in a way that was like shakshuka. I didn't know that. It was not, I always wondered why my mom never really mixed her eggs. And then I'm like, oh my goodness. You know, I had to
laughing at me when I was telling you about shakshuka.
Do you know what I mean? So it was still the traditional egg sauce, Nigerian with the pepper and all of that. But she liked the whole, okay, you know, I'm just going to break my eggs into it. So I think it's that nice infusion.
Absolutely.
It's food, it's good food.
It's tasty.
Food.
That's
yeah,
the
exactly.
main thing.
I think so.
Temi's coughing.
Think so.
She's looking around like she's got something to say. All right, Temi, the floor is yours.
I just think generally, Nigerians especially, we've come to, we have kind of like turned food around towards us.
Yes.
So no matter where you go to, so you see Nigerian Chinese meal.
Yep.
You Nigerianize everything.
Yep.
So if it is more chilies you want, you put more chilies.
Absolutely.
If it is more veggies you want, you put more veggies. So really, like she said, food is food.
Well, it's interesting that you say that because even Matty mentioned that a lot of the food that she creates, she has to sort of Nigerianize to the Nigerian palate, you know? And it's very strange for me to hear that because Cameroon is our next door neighbor. So what?
Very different.
Yeah, of course it's different. I know that.
Yeah,
but I'm saying it's interesting that it's just next door, and it is
so
that
different.
It's that diverse.
It's just like an eatery coming to Nigeria, and then you're saying you just want to do chicken and fries or chips, whatever angle you want to go to, and then everybody comes in. Do you have rice?
No, KFC has to improvise for example.
Okay, I didn't want to mention
No,
it.
it's fine.
So do you have rice? No, we don't have rice. Do you have, and then you go there
A few
next
shows
day,
ago, one of our
and then you
guests told us
realize
that
they have
there was such a
rice,
thing
they have
as
moi moi,
jollof
and then you're
pizza.
like, okay, now you're
Do you
moving
remember
on.
that?
Jollof pizza, suya pizza. So
But
we have a way of turning
the
things
Nigerians,
around.
if you've traveled with Nigerians, like typical Nigerians, by the second day in the country, people are looking for where the Nigerian food.
Yep.
And I'm like, guys, like, let us enjoy.
Absolutely.
Let's just, you know, this is a different
Let me shock
country.
you. I went for my honeymoon, and then the first day we got there, we strolled to the supermarket. I had fried beef, I had fried snails, everything that was going. We made.
You carried your food along
I
with
carried
you.
my food along. I went to the supermarket. I bought my peppers. I bought everything, and I made sure, at least for the next 5 days, we were settled. Talking of stew, talking of soup, so we could go out to, you know, eat the.
Yeah, on another
Chinese
level.
food,
Do you know
the
what?
curries
Here's where I
and all.
need to actually get in on this because you've been honest, so I feel it's only right that I do the same thing. Don't judge me, guys.
I should explore my environment.
I'm a world traveler. I love traveling to every country on God's green earth, but I never go anywhere without my Rwandan chili oil. To the point whereby I have it in my tiny handbag and I take it out at the swankiest restaurants and I put my pepper oil on this 300-pound plate of food that has 0 pepper on it that is not supposed to have pepper, and I completely
you
ruin
just
the meal.
can't do it.
I do that with Shito as well.
You see?
actually.
The Ghanaian-
yes,
Explore more with food, though, really.
You do.
I remember taking some of my friends to Cameroon for a break during the holiday period, and the first day we got there, we had fish, that was fine. The second day, they were like, okay, we had the myondo, we had other types of food, and they were like, Mati, we're looking for Indomie. So we literally started going from shop to shop.
Nigerians,
And we literally, I'm telling you,
we won't accept any other imitation.
I agree.
It has to be Indomie.
agree.
You can actually go out and then have something different, but you
won't
still
enjoy
want
it.
your
No, we found,
Yeah.
we found
You still
only
want your
one Indomie. And
Don't tell me
it was,
it's-
I'm saying one small
Oh my
Indomie.
goodness.
Because it's not really.
It's not
we do
now.
more.
It's not, I agree.
Cameroonians do more of the local. So this
Yes.
spaghetti Indomie thing.
All
it's
these
really
imported
Yeah, they really do
noodles.
not.
Yeah.
So to find out if you see the way they feel.
I know. It reminds me of when I was in uni as well, and then it was in England. Like I don't know how, but people in England, the jollof rice in England is like richer and even much more delicious than the ones here with Nigerians. And a friend of ours had come in from New York. And we were having this party, and she goes, guys, particularly for those who had been in England for many years, she's like, you guys are having a party, you've been in England for decades, there's no jacket potato, there's no mashed potato. All you have, like, it's been decades, guys.
Potato head.
There's nothing, no salads, no potato salads, just jollof rice, fried rice,
But even
plantain.
when if you go to a Nigerian Thanksgiving is traditionally an American holiday. If you go to a
Jollof
Thanksgiving party in America,
It's
the
jollof
table
rice.
is laden with jollof rice pounded jam and for you. I mean, if you see a sweet potato pie, you're probably dreaming. It's so interesting to think about how globalization has impacted us so severely because
Yes.
even Korean and Chinese cuisine, we know it to be traditionally spicy, right?
Yeah.
But prior to the 1600s, they did not have any chilies in Southeast Asia whatsoever because chilies Christopher Columbus found them in Europe in 1493 and then brought them to Asia when he discovered it. So it's very weird to look back and to do the research and to find out these things that actually most things that you think are authentic to a certain place were brought there by another countryman or country folk, if you will.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Like you were talking about Akara in Brazil. It's the slaves that were brought from West Africa that took it there to places like Bahia and Brazil and Salvador and then created their own version of this, which they sometimes put bacon and cheese into, and call acaraye.
Make it yours, exactly.
Absolutely. What other experiences with food have we experienced or seen?
In terms of what? So
in terms of the globalization and the way that things have changed from one part of the country or one part of the world to the other.
Okay, like someone called me last week, an Indian man, and he goes, "Oh, tiger nuts in Nigeria. I've never seen anybody doing what you're doing.
What?
You're doing a fantastic job. You're doing this and you're doing that and doing this." It's like, okay, we're in Nigeria now, and then I believe he has some form of like outgrower scheme where he has gotten people to grow tiger nuts for him. And then they clean it, they do all sorts to it, and then they just take it out.
Right.
So
By take it out, export it.
they export it. So he just takes it out and exports it, and it goes like wherever you're getting yours, it's probably not clean, it's probably not this, it's probably not that.
He's trying to put you off your own game.
So, you know, you can just come to us, we can work together, we can get, and I'm like, nah.
I use local farmers.
And he goes like, oh, so where do you source from? You probably have bacteria, you probably have this going on. I'm like,
wow, to your face.
I'm like, well, I've not had any complaints since
You know,
I
it's
started.
interesting because
so
this is almost the
it's good.
reverse sort of case. This is a foreigner coming into the country and taking things out. And then being
And he
surprised
goes,
that
"Oh,
an indigenous person is creating this indigenous thing and
it's
also
like,
selling it to their indigenous country
you
folk.
realize that even Nigerians don't patronize us, and in my mind, I'm like, you probably sell a bag of tiger nuts for quadruple the price of what I'm getting it. So why would I patronize you when I can process it myself and all? So it just says, oh, okay, so we can have a meeting and blah, blah. I said, okay, yeah, I'll call you.
Don't call me, I'll call you. So back to the effects of globalization. Why do we think that there are so many fast food chains in Africa, for example, being that we're not traditionally a fast food society?
Again, I think it's in the big cities. So, I mean, again, big cities, the middle class, upper middle class.
I don't agree.
You don't?
No, it's fine. I mean, look, let me add. For me, it's the middle class, it's the upper middle class. You've got people who have traveled for school. They understand the culture, everybody. Because I always say, Lagos is not Nigeria, because I've worked on social projects. I've been to Nigeria, and I'm like, I would have thought this was Sudan or somewhere when I see things. So for me, it's more, I wouldn't say, still, maybe not really they're not in those areas. It's still in the big cities. We have fast-paced lives. Nobody has time to cook anymore. Everyone is just really going to, I mean, these days you have, 5-year-olds who have diabetes. Like the levels of chronic illness
So it's interesting that you say that, because yes, we do have faster paced lives than back in the day, but why do we not, or maybe we do, correct me if I'm wrong, why is it that we see a lot of these American fast food chains cropping up when we have our indigenous fast food versions like Booker places that you can go to, get your food in 5 minutes and leave?
Movies, they sell dreams, right? So we all watch these movies. So everybody wants to buy into those dreams. You see it in your favorite movie, you see your favorite actor going to these places. You're like, oh my goodness, this is what I saw in that movie. And everyone wants to be affiliated with it. And for me, that's my perspective.
Gradually, I think that the local food is coming out more, because now there are more fast foods of local foods.
Why I said I don't agree, because you would even realize
You
that.
can't just jump on her point and take it. How dare you? When you have the opportunity. Okay, share the point, because it's our last point for the day.
Sorry, last point?
It is.
So hit them. So you just realize that you have even the lady going around with akara and pap, and then she sells. So right now, I think they're just preying on Nigerians that don't like to cook at home.
Right.
That is just it.
But then
So,
if you don't
but
like to
saying
cook
it's
at
just for
home,
the middle
couldn't you
class
find
and
one
the
of
upper
these-
class, it goes way down.
No,
the
but
chain.
remember I said it's in the large cities. So it's still in those, so that was where my point was taken from.
So with regards to what you just said, wouldn't it make more sense for the Nigerians in whatever city, the smaller ones, the larger ones, whatever size cities, to purchase food from the local sellers, the street hawkers, buy abacha, buy pap, buy akara, buy
We're doing that already.
Yes, they are, and they have been traditionally. But my point is, we're seeing a rise in these fast food chains, and if they're continuously sprouting up, people are patronising them. More in the Western world than in the African world. For a woman that does so much research, trust me.
No, they're popping up.
Like
Like smart companies, so there's the internalization. So they're coming in, but they still have our meals here and there to ensure
They
that.
match with them, then they'll say this is the African side.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's the smart move now.
Yeah.
So the African side, and then so I'm sure the next thing that will come out now is the regular food side and then the keto food side.
The what food side?
Keto food.
So there's keto food.
The keto.
So says the lady who sells tiger nut flour.
She's starting.
So I just be giving something. I was just giving out something there, but the way everything is just turning around now is amazing.
So, final thoughts from each one of you in 20 seconds or less. The effects of globalization on food. Do we like it or do we not? Labo?
I love it.
Oh, okay. She came out strong.
Like, I really love it.
Madame Marty.
I do too.
You love the effects of globalization.
I do.
Very good.
Really?
I like it, yeah, because...
I mean, I can understand that you would like it because you get to sell your local products to an international market. No, I'm being serious. But it's interesting for me to hear that you like it because you create authentic food and you're selling it to an indigenous community. So why would you want outsiders to come in and compete with you?
Fish is fish. Anybody would definitely like fish. I don't know how to explain it. Most people now prefer fish to me because they're trying to be healthy and all.
Yes.
There's no argument about fish or about whatever.
So you're not worried about the competition.
There's no competition for fish. Fish is fish.
Cameroonian fish for the win. Yes. Okay. That brings us to the end of the morning show today. Thanks once again to my fabulous foodie guests, Marty Okegwe and Temitope Ademola Oriola, for joining me, Katura King. And of course, thanks to you at home for watching. From my entire team and I here in Lagos, all that's left for me to say is enjoy the rest of your morning and, of course, the rest of your day. Goodbye.